Regular meeting for the Montgomery Economic Development Corporation. It's 6 o'clock, October 15th, 2024. And we do have a quorum with Casey Olson and Wade Nelson and Carol Langley and myself. So we will get started. Do we have any public comments? We don't have any public comments, so we'll just, I guess we could just jump into the regular agenda. Is that okay? All right, so we're going to, does anybody have a discussion regarding the approval of the minutes of October 20th, 2024? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to look at the minutes? I didn't have a problem with them.
Well, I was just saying they weren't as detailed as that. We don't do that.
I thought they were fine.
Oh, they were okay.
Okay.
I checked my notes against them.
Yeah.
And
And they were fine, okay.
yes, sir.
All right, so can we entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of August 20, 2024 MEDC meeting.
That's been motion in a second? Second? Okay, so it's been motion and second that we approve the minutes for August 20th, 2024, the MEDC regular meeting minutes. This is amendable, debatable, requires majority vote. Sorry, I couldn't get over that. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so the minutes for the MEDC August 2024 regular minute, I can't even talk today. The regular meeting minutes is approved. Next, we have consideration and possible action on a grant request for the 2024 Wreaths Across America event as submitted by Rebecca Huss. And Rebecca is with us today.
I am.
Joining us today is Rebecca Huss. Thank you, Rebecca, for coming.
Yes, so in your packets, you should have information about what we've done in the past. The wreaths are the same cost as last year, which is a nice surprise. And we're on a 2-for-3 schedule, so for every 2 we buy, they give us 3. So we need 47 wreaths to get to 70 veterans. So that's, and with flags that we put out ahead of time, I believe it's $853 in total that we're requesting for this year.
$853, okay. I believe that is in our budget, right? Yes, okay.
Oh, yeah. That's all I was looking for was the total. That's good to me.
Okay, so does anyone want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the grant as requested or presented, excuse me.
Okay, anyone want to second that?
I'll second.
Okay, so it's been motioned and seconded that we accept the grant request for the 2024 Wreaths Across America event that Rebecca Huss will be headlining for us. And all of this amendable, debatable, requires a majority vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the ayes carry it. So Rebecca, we got your grant request and we'll take care of that sooner than later, I guess, right?
Sounds good. Last year, I purchased them and submitted for reimbursement, which seemed to work well for Mary Ann. So
Okay, well then we'll just
I
get
got the thumbs up from Gary, so I assume we'll do that again this year.
All right, that sounds good. The next item on the agenda is the October MEDC financial report, and that will be Ms. Langley, I believe? No? Oh, okay.
I looked over most of them and item 3 and 4, and I did not see anything I needed to question.
Okay.
So unless y'all have a question.
I reviewed it and didn't see anything that was unusual. It looks like it's trending along just the way we're supposed to. So we'd like to approve that. Yeah, can we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the October MEDC financial report.
Second.
Second.
Okay, so it's been motion and second that we approve the October MEDC financial report. It's amendable, debatable, requires a majority of vote. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So that is been approved. Next, we have the September financial report. I think we missed it last
Yeah,
week.
she wasn't here.
How do we look on that, Carol?
Well, that one was A-okay also.
All right, so can we entertain a motion to approve those minutes? I mean, the financial report?
I make a motion to approve the September financial report. Second.
Okay, so it's been motion and second that we approve the September financial report, and that's amendable, debatable, requires a majority vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? Okay, all right, so the September financial report's been approved. Now, the next item on the agenda is discussion only for the concept of the city engaging in private partnerships for development initiatives, and I think this is just a standing item on the agenda. Is there anything that we need to talk about?
Public-private partnerships.
Public-private.
Yeah, P3. So Wade and I talked briefly last week about it. It's a discussion that we've had a couple times since I've been here, and we talked about putting it on the agenda, finally we're doing it. So Wade, you want to kick it off and maybe just talk about what your ideas are?
Sure, yeah, I think primarily, the city obviously is not funded to be able to pick up some of these projects. And the only way to kick these off is to form those partnerships with private companies and developers that have the same, that align their goals with what we want to do. And there's several guys here locally and new ones that are coming in that would like to participate in that to some degree.
What exactly is it?
Well, it could be, helping with city hall relocation or police department, or it could be, retail. It could be a number of things that obviously they're not just going to step out there and do it, without some commitments of some degree. But when you look at Navasota, when you look at Dripping Springs or Granbury or wherever, those partnerships are formed to be able to fund these projects. And it could be a park, it could be things that are set aside from a development for the city to utilize. But again, to revitalize downtown, you've got to have those partnerships with those businesses and with those developers to be able to do that.
So what are you looking at? Is there anything specific that we're looking at?
Well, let's talk about 149 in the downtown area. I mean, if you're going to attract the retailers that can do business here and survive and succeed, we've got a lot of rooftop development coming in. That's going to help support it. But in order to be able to refashion those facades and get the business people excited about something, which I don't know if it's ever been handled that way, but they don't have the funds to do it.
Right.
The businesses themselves, the retailers, at least not the mom and pop ones on 149. Yeah.
Right.
So getting those people used to the idea, getting them familiar with it, and understanding how that partnership will work, and it'll be a collaborative effort between city, developer, and the businesses themselves. But there's no doubt that we need to upgrade the look of this area.
Yeah. What do the developers get out of that?
Well, it could be, there's tax incentives as well. There's a commitment from the city for them to do a development like that and bring additional retail in. But you're fashioning the development based on the look that you're trying to achieve. And again, that's where the city and the businesses get to participate in that. So it's a meeting that we should probably have with some interested parties and hear them out and see how those goals are met.
But there are people that have a vision?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Call it Johnson Development,
Yeah.
Those guys have done it multiple times in cities. And unfortunately, they didn't get their hands on the Randall Ranch deal because that would have kicked off a lot of things that they could have done. Because they get involved in the city, upgrade, whether it's street lighting, landscaping.
Just reskin the whole thing.
Reskin it and help facilitate how to go after the funds to do that.
Okay.
And it's a lot of it can be redistributed back through, if they have a mud district, a lot of that can be reimbursed through the mud.
Okay.
If it's tied into that mud district. We now have in-city muds, which we're able to tap into. If you can get that participation and annexation into that mud, if they have the capacity to do it and see the upside, which they want those dollars to come through the mud, because then not only do they make money that way, but that's how you get reimbursed for a lot of those fees. For those developments.
So are y'all, so you suggesting that we try to schedule or set some type of a collaboration, or just what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think inviting some people here that initially can kick off a meeting that would start the idea and the process of how that works. And they're gonna know much greater detail than somebody like me of how it's facilitated.
Yeah.
And can start a process, a plan.
Well, you've identified some interested parties, right?
There are, you know, Johnson is now taking over Redbird Ranch. They're gonna be the developer on that. But also, you know, guys, whether it's Chris Cheatham or Tom Cox or whoever, you know, Chris is an obvious elephant in the room that
Oh, yeah.
you gotta approach the guy and work with him, because he owns half the town. You know, or at least not the town, but the
Yeah.
frontage,
Right.
the key pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great that he's stepped out there and has done a lot of it on his own, but if we were to help facilitate those ideas,
Yeah.
it ramps up much quicker, instead of having something come online every 5 years and you remain behind the curve.
What's the timeline for putting something like this together in terms of a meeting or a?
Timeline,
discussion?
I mean, we could probably do it here, I guess we're starting again the holidays, so try and do something before Christmas.
Okay. Just to get an initial.
Yeah, just to
Would
get
they
it.
do a presentation, or how would that work?
I could ask them if they could do it.
Is that something that Retail Strategies would be involved with at all, or?
Yeah, I think they could probably provide some expertise just from their point of view on how P3s work in cities. You know, when he talks about P3s, and what I think of P3s are probably different. From a government perspective, when I think of a P3, I think of sharing of risk between the city and the private entity for a particular project where you're gonna have to negotiate things back and forth to figure out what the roles and responsibilities are, the risk sharing, affordability of the project. You know, for something for the city of Montgomery, I think you brought up the police station, or if we had a large capital project where we're gonna build a new city hall, say we're gonna build a community center, a large community center.
Yes.
For example, Faraday built a large community center along with I can't remember the private entity, but they wound up building it with a private entity and then had YMCA come in and run the facility for the city.
I see.
So there's different elements of that P3, but I think for us, identifying what we can and can't do from a legal perspective, I think would be helpful for this group. Maybe part of that presentation, we could have either our attorneys, or maybe we can contact TML or somebody who can come in, just give their expertise with cities on what we can and can't do, and then kind of piggyback on that with, maybe not the same meeting, so we're not stepping on each other, but maybe part of that can be them coming in and follow meeting with some ideas on what they think we can do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's taking it to the next level, and, you know, we talk about it a lot, but we get bogged down with how to get there.
Yeah.
I think this is a good way to approach it and realize a path forward. And, you know, there's a project that Tom has under contract, that I think a lot of you are familiar with, the 50 acres across from Cowboy Church on 105. That's, yeah, right here. And so it's, that would be a really good one to start with, you know, to see how because the cost of development, the cost of land is going.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's gotten where it's almost impossible to do it sometimes unless you get the participation from the city itself. And, you know, what degree that is, who knows, but, you know, there's a lot.
Is that something city council has to be involved in?
I'm sure,
Yeah, from a policy perspective, anything we do would have to.
Has to go through them, yeah.
But I think for developers, I think it'd be more of what incentives can the city provide to attract or to get a Chris Cheatham to build here, build what we want him to build.
Right. I
That
mean,
can also be a part of that decision.
yeah, I mean, he's made the comment, he's 100% leased for the first time that he can remember, and so he's definitely looking at doing some more things, and he's, you know, after some other properties around here. So if there's a way that we can help him do what he does, you know, that's the idea.
Yeah.
So what's the next step then? Like,
And, you know, there's not casting stones at anybody, but, you know, there's been this, I guess, this opinion that, hey, that's doing him a favor. Why would we do that? Well, because he's bringing good stuff, yeah. And you want to team up with the guys that aren't coming in here buying a piece of land, doing whatever they want and cheap as they want, and then they're gone. Yeah. You want the guys that are here, that want to be here, and have a vested interest.
No, yeah, he's done really nice work.
Yeah.
You know, the things he's built are very nice, it's pretty to look at.
Mhm.
Drive by.
I mean, it's creating a downtown with that look, you know, you're starting to put those pieces in place. And if we can get a plan for 149, you know, I don't know that we wait on Texas, because Texas will take forever, you know, to come up with their plans.
Jump like for facade improvements out there.
Yeah, facade, I mean, you could go ahead and do the facade with the idea that maybe 149 gets expanded one day and sidewalks are in, and that, but we can do the street lighting and the pavers, whatever, you know, that kind of stuff, and facade.
Would somebody like Cheatham or Johnson or something have to go in and buy up these businesses?
No, I think
Are they just partnering?
they're partnering with the property owners.
Okay, to upgrade their facades?
Right, and that's probably where a in-city mud comes into play, to be able to accomplish something.
And so.
Or church.
Or turfs, yeah.
Our church, okay.
What should we talk about?
They've got a different operating budget over there that the city of Bryan, I believe, a few years ago, I know they funded that out of the general fund, you know, up to 50,000 a facade. I don't know how much they had, you know, sure they set a cap on that, so they would do 3 or whatever it was, but, you know, that would be something, if there were some type of a district, you know, or a taxing entity over that it would be different than this, but, you know, over there, and typically, you know, from what I've seen, like a facade enhancement grant, if you go right to the business owner, you're doing the most good because you're essentially not going in a large, you're cutting down the pool, I suppose. You're not trying to do, you know, 8 people all in a group versus.
What happens if some agree and some don't?
That's the risk there, is, you know, you get, you know, some where, you know, they, for whatever reason, can't. But I don't know that you can compel.
Well, that's where the legal would come in, you know, it would be a way to tell, or
And again, in a district, you just gotta get the majority to do it.
you gotta get them all on the same page and see and share a vision that's going to attract new business, which is what they want.
Yeah, it's, you know, kind of getting them to all see, you know, kind of the end of the tunnel,
Right.
you know, if you will, that, you know, the money's there, you know, on the investment. But it's keep getting all the investment, the reason we start at the same time, we're not gonna get everybody all on the same page.
And maybe if some start seeing the progress and see that it wasn't as much of a disruption to their businesses.
You gotta make it a good incentive.
You
I
just
mean,
gotta-
there's growing pains regardless, so you're gonna experience.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
some
what,
kind of
yeah.
pain. But it's, the ultimate goal is you see better rents, you got a better looking property, better tenants, yeah. And it's not trying to push anybody out, it's trying to work with the ones that are there, and they realize they get better foot traffic.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere.
And the most common way to do that would be a TIF district, like a PDA or a church or something very common,
Yeah.
in city government. So that would be, I think, from the facade improvements and incentives for downtown, at least that would be, what we want to do. It wouldn't necessarily be a P3, but, I think kind of going along with what we're talking about, that's what we're heading.
And those property owners of those buildings should participate, you know,
Yeah.
they should be.
You gotta incentivize.
They have to
0%
incentivize them, but they
for
also
several
have to,
years.
yeah, they also should have an investment in it as well.
Okay, so they would jump in as well. Yeah, I think that, I mean, obviously, we gotta get it done sometime, because otherwise it'll stay looking the way it is, and that's not good. It's ugly.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, how about if we, maybe not the next meeting, October, November, maybe the next meeting, if I can get somebody from either TML or from our legal team, or maybe
Yeah.
A&M, or somebody come in here to talk to us about
Yeah.
P3, just in general concepts.
A&M
What
probably would
cities
be.
they have, what cities have been using it for, and we can start there, and then maybe after that, we can have some people from your group come in.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to push this guy, I know we've talked about him several times, but Brad, I just forgot his last name.
Yeah, from Minnesota.
Yeah, from Minnesota, and he's now with Parks in Bryan, but he's offered several times, hey, I'll
Does he have experience with this stuff?
He did all of that sort of revitalization.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
want,
I mean, we're.
it's up to you guys, run him on the
He did
agenda.
it, he had to run it.
Yes,
Wayne, can you get him to come and maybe put him on the agenda next time?
Yeah, absolutely.
very knowledgeable man.
Yeah,
Where's he at now?
he's with Parks and Rec with Brian.
Oh, right.
And what's his name?
Red staff.
There you go.
Yeah,
He was the city manager there, right?
Correct. He was
10
in,
or 15 years?
correct, and he went through the whole process with what Minnesota.
Well, then he would know.
He would.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we finally got to, not the finish line, but maybe the beginning of the finish line.
But I think A&M would be a great resource if we could tap into somebody there and invite
A few
them.
people over there that I can at least start with.
Yeah, and find out who the right person is.
What were you saying, and we talked about the school?
They're real estate.
Oh, they have a real estate?
They do.
Yeah.
Very for a master's in like commercial real estate.
Yeah, you can. Land development, real estate,
I
commercial.
didn't know that, okay.
Yeah, you can get your master's.
Well, then maybe for the next meeting, what do you think, Gary?
Yeah, that's fine, if he's willing to do it. Why not?
Yeah.
So that's good for
I'll
you.
reach out to Brad and then he may know someone, he may know someone. And y'all went to that field trip, didn't you?
yes, yes.
How was that? Was that pretty?
Real good, real good.
I mean, Tomball's another example, yeah.
Tomball?
They've done a really.
Yeah, they did a great job. They got, Main Street Event Center down there now, and they're bringing in Smokey Robinson and all
Yeah,
that.
the whole boulevard is a.
We moved on to their alleys now. They're
Yeah,
great alleys.
yeah, now they're in behind, they're doing the second tier.
Yeah, that's definitely something to look at.
I mean, what do y'all think the city council's response would be to something like
it's just, I think everybody would be very open to suggestion. It
that?
just depends on how much, because we are not funded, right? And if we don't have a huge footprint, so when we give up, like, oh, hey, we're gonna give up 50 acres of commercial for no taxes for the next 10 years, well, that really hinders us from how we pay for shit.
Right. Well, and I think you're looking at the ultimate goal of the sales tax, right? Not necessarily the ad valorem.
Right, so ad valorem is the one that I would give up first, but that's not always what happens.
Right, no, you're right. I mean, the bigger ones, the bigger projects are gonna look for much more.
Yeah.
And-
I'm just wondering how much sales tax they actually contribute to the overall city as opposed, I know there's certain businesses that really do well, like, the hardware store and, and Kroger and others. But I'm just wondering if the actual 149 businesses generate, such,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But those are really what I was kind of looking at. I was more looking at the large,
New development.
right,
Yeah.
where they want to come in and put in, retail center,
Ah, gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
Redevelopment, I think our best bet is, like Gary's saying, is going with the district's options or, where we can work with the existing, right?
Yeah,
But when we're trying to bring in, we have retail development on contract, so
right.
they're not coming to replace, they're coming with new, right?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to give up everything that they would be bringing in terms
Right.
of dollars and
Yeah,
sales
exactly.
tax.
I would want to present it in a way where the city doesn't think that, hey, we're doing them a favor, otherwise we don't mean it.
Right.
It should be, that, hey, we want
It
you.
needs a quick
Yeah,
pro.
we're inviting you to come and
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
and let's hear your ideas.
Well, I'm sure they understand if they've worked with other cities before that they have to come with something that's going to be
Yeah, there's a middle ground.
equitable for everybody.
Correct.
Okay, well, we got a plan. Any more discussion on that item, are we okay?
So we'll try to get Brad on for the next meeting.
Yeah,
Are you gonna reach out to him?
I will. I'll reach out to them too.
And then, I'll also see if I can get some other resources, like legal resources, so we know exactly what we can and can't do.
Yeah, and retail strategies may be a good,
Yeah, they didn't give us kind of their
right.
overall,
Now that
what they've
we're
seen,
starting to implement a plan.
yeah.
How far along, where are we with retail strategies? I haven't heard much about,
Well, we got that summit coming up next month.
so that,
They were at TML, I don't know if you guys saw them down there, but, they're out soliciting on
Okay.
our behalf on the one contract, and then on the other downtown strategies contract, they're just building up this summit.
Okay.
And that will kind of be the
Well, with all the surveys and whatnot that have been going out.
survey to death.
And that may really come into play when a developer is actually involved, when
Mhm.
they can realize what product is being produced.
Right, they know what they can work with, right, go forward. That actually helps them to do their job, but we need that master plan, one where everybody's playing together and we've all agreed to do it, so. Okay, that should be fun. You gotta start somewhere, you know, it'd be great to get started, just at a start, it'd be great, right?
I was gonna be busy.
Okay, so discussion on licensing certain businesses to sell City of Montgomery trademark merchandise. Is that?
I'll take that one. So I'm gonna throw our city attorneys under the bus on this one, because when this first came up, I sent this to them and never got anything back. I sent it to them again, never got anything back, and finally, before this agenda, I got a hold of Caleb, and he's putting together, under our instruction, because he asked us, what are you guys looking for? And our thought is that the easiest solution would be for us to issue a license to a merchandiser, whoever you guys would want to give that to,
Right.
to sell our merchandise. So whether we take part of that, or, I don't know what you guys are thinking on that, but that's kind of got to be worked out. He's working on that license.
Caleb. Oh,
Caleb's
you're
a
city
city
attorney.
attorney.
City attorney. Okay, so, so the idea is maybe license like an online store or a brick and
Well,
mortar?
like maybe Urban Coffee, or
Okay.
whoever you guys decide.
Well,
Go down to that
so
discussion.
can we sell more than one?
One
One,
license.
more than one, offer more than one license, more than
I'm
one
sure.
retail one.
He has, I haven't asked him that, but yeah.
So like if other businesses like, well, we wanna sell it too,
Mhm.
yeah. that's-
Yeah,
so yeah, that's
license,
all.
whoever we want to
You
give that
got like
license.
Rancher's Daughter and some of the others
Yeah.
out there that do a lot of business, or even in, not Ruthie Grace, maybe, I don't know.
They probably wouldn't, but.
I
like
think
a
that's
coffee
the thought
shop,
was
they-
for us to create merchandise and then give it to them to sell, and for us to
It
take
makes
it
it
part of that.
difficult too, though.
I don't know, like a percentage would be fine, it doesn't have to be a lot, but it needs to be something, but, yeah, I mean, right?
There's probably a standard out there for like
A licensing agreement of some
Yeah.
sort, yeah.
I don't know what it is.
And if we get somebody to do some really high-end graphics and collectible type things that people would want, not just tchotchke stuff, but stuff that's a little bit more compelling.
Once we see what they, what the attorneys have back and see kind of what the scope of their, addressing is,
Right.
from a resources standpoint, just licensing someone is easier than us, making and distributing and housing.
We don't have, you don't have the bandwidth for that.
No.
I think, the only real thing that we need to, somehow tie up is the, kind of the quality control of,
Right.
you can't use something that's gonna be peeling off in like 3 weeks. So it looks bad, we understand it's gonna wear like any other garment, it's gonna wear if it's a t-shirt or something.
But if you hire the right-
Something that's,
There's some really good vendors around here who do excellent work, and,
But we wouldn't be hiring the vendor if we sold the license.
Yeah, it's just, well, it depends on what you guys want to do. My recommendation is we start with
The license.
Yeah.
maybe issuing a license, and then if we decide we want to do our own merchandise,
Yeah. I just think just movement.
What would
on
they
it
be
so we
using?
can-
there would be.
In other words, if you gave the license
So use our trademark.
Our
So use our
Rancher's
trademark.
daughter,
Right.
what is she gonna use?
so what we have to license is the trademark, which is the birthplace of the Texas flag. You could probably, make an argument that any likeness to Montgomery, Texas is somehow under, the city control as well, but again, that's for.
I mean, the seal, how does the seal work?
The seal is something that really only the city ever uses the actual seal. It's just a more formal thing, in my experience. I guess, you typically, like if you see like an I Love Houston shirt or I Love, whoever shirt, typically it wouldn't have the formal, city seal. It might have a city logo, sort of like the rectangular thing that the EDC used for a while with the, with the two flags, the set birthplace.
just, sorry to interrupt, but I just was gonna say, it's been my experience in doing licensing deals, I worked with, I don't know what back in the day. That if you offer an exclusivity for a period of time, maybe 1 year, to let them get a footprint. Somebody who has the greatest plausible opportunity and will market, you know, and you make sure that that's part of the deal, that they have to market at a certain amount, they have to sell a certain amount to maintain their license. Has in the past has become a very sort of a normal way of doing business from a licensing standpoint. So you go to a rancher's daughter and say, hey, would you like to have exclusivity to the trademark? You know, maybe we don't collect anything off of it in the beginning, but as we develop the license, we go, once we see if it's got a footprint and some legs.
Yeah, if it's not gonna cost us much to get it going.
No,
why not?
no, I mean, you get
That's
some
right.
training fees or whatever, but now you're offering some, a business or two businesses, you know, exclusivity and you're, you know, there's a competitive nature in businesses to try to get the most bang for the buck. And if they can say, hey, we're the only place you can get this stuff.
Do you think that's a, you know, how do you, you know, is there a dynamic there, you know, just in kind of the role of the city is more of an equal, you know, playing field? Do the other businesses get upset when they say, why?
So that's my issue with
You would have
exclusivity
to-
from a city standpoint is give everybody the option to buy a license with the
And
standard.
the ones that want it, yeah, with the standard. And the ones, what do you think, Carol?
How much is it gonna cost?
Oh,
Let's just say it's $20.
For them to purchase a license from us.
Purchase a license, and it's good for a year. I mean, let's just say that. So if Jim's Hardware purchases that license, he can order headbands, you know, the sweatbands.
Right.
He can order frisbees.
Yep.
He can order fly swatters and put the city of Montgomery,
Birthplace of the Texas license.
whatever he wants on it.
Yep.
Right, you know, kind of the, again, kind of the true piece that is trademark is that, you know, the birthplace of the Texas flag. But
We have to decide what they're gonna put on it, otherwise you're gonna have so many different things.
That's the standard that I would talk
Yeah.
about, like, here's your standard, these are some
yeah,
things.
it could be, you
Yeah.
know, a graphic file, that they get that graphic and, you
Right.
know, when you license it, you know, there's
And then
three
he
different
can-
options that you get. that-
He can sell these items.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know, right now, he gives things away like that has Jim's Hardware on
well, you can give them away too if you wanted
it.
to. If it's
So
got the license, you
he
can
could
do whatever.
do that.
Yeah, but it's an attraction, you know, and
But
it's.
if the license is too high,
Right.
they're not gonna get into it
Right.
because it's not, more than likely not gonna have their name on it too.
Right.
It's just gonna be City of Montgomery.
Yeah.
So I thought this was that the city was doing this,
But we could, it's just,
Yeah.
we're just kicking around the options.
but
It's-
I didn't know.
It's branding and marketing, yeah, it's getting your name out there.
I wanted to get down to the shops, or like at least the coffee shop in a couple places. I didn't get there this weekend, but
Maybe we should add that to one of our many surveys that we do. Would you be interested in licensing exclusive or having exclusive
I wish
license?
we would have thought of that before we sent those up to you. No one's gonna answer a third one.
It's a super short and free question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go down there and have a cup of coffee, and
Here's
go
the thing,
to
though.
the art store again,
I think that-
museum and visit with them. They just
From
get-
business, I'm talking about just from a business
I can get them all
standpoint.
in an afternoon.
Receiving those surveys, I even sent you a note telling me how thoughtful, well thought out they were. I think if you receive, it's just a three-question, a two-question survey saying the city is now, has the official trademark, and we're looking to see if you might be interested in a licensing opportunity to have exclusivity for the city, you know, birthplace of the Texas flag trademark. And if they all go, absolutely, we all want it, then you know, and
Well, I'll tell you, I can find out, I'll do a search.
Probably.
yeah.
And I'll get a
Send a note.
Yeah, you just find out.
Yeah, the other thing is too, and this has just been my recommendation, is that maybe you know, rather than, I don't know how far you want to police it, but if you're talking about, you know, collectibles, or if you're talking about apparel or whatever, maybe you work with one company that does licensing deals like that, so that you're not, you know, you can't just buy anything. You can't buy a fly swatter, for instance. I mean, that's kind of, you decide that these are the items that we want to start with. We're gonna go with apparel, you know, like hoodies, caps.
No toilet paper.
No toilet paper. I mean, you don't
See
want,
Ohio State toilet paper.
yeah, you don't want, unless Ohio State, yeah, you can do that. But novelty stuff like that, that's gonna play on words or something. But you want to try to, we want to keep it classy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you pick out a vendor that's big enough, got a wide enough footprint with, you know, not just collectibles, but other kinds of, you know, it could be pens, it could be other things. But that's what you know, that's kind of what you want to work with. I mean, that way they'll police it for you.
Yeah, Rangers Roller is a great example, Ruth Grace and.
Yeah, I mean, they're classy organizations.
Well, the coffee shop, well, so here's the whole thing that brought it to me was when my parents were in town, back in May, my mom went with us downtown and she wanted to go to little shops. We went to every little shop downtown and she said, there's not one place where I can buy anything that says Montgomery, Texas on it.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
And I said, I know. We
Well,
need to do something about that.
we talk about that all the time. So I think we're in the right direction.
Well, I'll pull the businesses, if anybody's interested.
Yeah,
We'll have the actual license on the next agenda.
and you want me, I can do a little labor for us too, as we want. I mean, as far as finding the right company to put up the promotional items.
Yeah, you want to check on that?
Yeah, I'll give you 3 or 4 choices, you know, and those that have had success in other.
And I like the seal, I mean, the seal.
I do like the seal.
And
If you had birthplace of the Texas flag on one side and the seal on the other of a coffee cup, I think it just looked nice.
Yeah.
I mean, a coffee cup, that's pretty respectable.
Yeah. I just think it looks nice on a coffee cup.
Yeah.
You know, a nice coffee cup, and at the coffee shop, you can go get that mug.
Made coffee cups that said City of Montgomery on one side, and I can't remember what they put on the other side.
Are there any restrictions in the city?
$10.
Oh, you can get more than that. It was just.
Dave, do you know?
Like-
Are there any restrictions?
Mhm.
Are there any restrictions?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's not like using the presidential seal.
And, police.
You know?
I think they're right though.
And for a $10 coffee.
That seal is so iconic, and then birthplace Texas flag on the back, that'd be pretty sweet. Okay. All right, well, just, when we talk to the attorney, just ask him, hey, is there any downside to doing that? I mean, gosh. you
Using
can
the logo?
Yeah, you can take a picture of it right now and stick it on anything you wanted.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, Spirit may be good because it's local or branded in Conroe.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think Spirit does anything
I don't
anymore.
think they're.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're just about to sell, they've been real close.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they are. But branded in downtown Conroe does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Branded?
What about Thomas Pruitt? He's got a lot of promotional stuff.
Well, I know a laser
I mean,
engraver
you
that
got
does
JK
excellent
Graphics
work,
too,
but
but
they only do laser engraving.
JK Graphics does it.
Yeah, JK does a lot.
She does.
I'll check with all of them and just.
She's in the chamber, she's always
Yeah,
willing to do something.
she did all our signage too. She's pretty good. That's why we were talking about doing signage around here. I was like, we should let JK at least take a look at it. She's always real reasonable and does a good job. All right, I'll call all the companies in the area then and see.
So just another question on that trademark. And I know there's a timeline of how long we can go before we use it.
It's 5 years, but.
So we gotta be close.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really, really
What's the
close.
restriction?
Like, if you don't use your trademark, if you don't exercise
You'll lose
it, you'll lose it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's why I've been kind of pushing on this
Yeah.
for a while, because
When did we get one?
we got it back when Sarah was,
5 years ago?
yeah, really close.
Well, in worst case scenario, go ahead and get the licensing situation. I'll buy a license or whatever and order some product and at least save us
Yeah.
from having to.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact timeline is, I just know
Process
that.
of it, you know, I think finally March, you have to renew it.
Yeah.
And you typically start getting a bunch of spam emails about 6 months before.
Right.
Telling, these really official ones saying that, oh, you need to call us, and it turns out they're just marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I believe you do, but, to that point, you got to.
That's a good question for the attorney here.
Yeah, you can't just hold it.
Okay,
I think this would be a lot.
yeah, and the businesses will love that.
Shirts, coffee cups, I think those things.
Yeah,
people,
You know, they're not super expensive, and you just, oh, hey man, how's your number, you know?
I mean, these are all things that are super positive. Everybody will enjoy that. Okay, so any other discussion on the,
So I'll have the license on the next agenda.
okay?
I'll talk to Caleb or whoever to talk about the trademark deadline. Can we use the city logo? I'll pull the businesses, find out if anybody's interested, and that's all.
I'll list the, I'll bring 2 or 3 companies to the table that have an interest in being, having some exclusivity in that. Okay, so what's the board inquiry? Oh, okay, I mean, in terms of, is there anything specific that we?
No, it's just, if there's questions on it,
Okay.
you know, they're on the agenda, but she.
I see it on there all the time, but we never really,
Oh, board inquiry? I
yeah.
have one thing, but I think
Real-
Wade was gonna.
Real quick,
ask.
Brad responded to me, so our next meeting's the 19th, but it's a city workshop, is that okay?
That's that's our,
Oh, that's.
yeah, that's our workshop.
That's what that is.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait till, do we have December meeting?
I was probably planning on it, unless you guys don't tell me you don't want to have a meeting, I was planning on it. I was just.
I think we need to try to get some traction on this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
this,
fine with that.
yeah.
Unless we want to
Unless
meet
somebody has.
separately.
Why can't we meet 30 minutes beforehand or something?
If we just, yeah,
It's gonna be a long night.
yeah, so on the December one, if we just keep the agenda to that,
Yeah.
right, then we can focus on it.
Yeah, we'll make that primarily
You
moving forward, yeah. Okay.
So that would be December 17th, is that right?
Just move it.
I mean, we could call a special meeting if you guys want. No? Yes, no?
Whatever y'all wanna
You
do.
don't want to do a special?
I think we should, we don't have a lot there. Why do we want to wait 2
So
months?
first week in December.
It doesn't have to be forever, it's just maybe a couple hours.
And then you could cancel your regular meeting if you wanted to.
First week in December.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah,
Can't have Tuesday, I got meetings on Tuesday, so it's.
P and Z,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's on Tuesday night. That.
every Tuesday. Oh, first Tuesday. So,
Yes, no, next week, Thursday.
Sure.
yeah, I think we just need it.
So, call it December 4th, Wednesday?
I'm not available.
No, you're not available on the fourth?
Let me see.
Are you available on
Monday?
No, I'm out of
Is
town.
that,
What about Monday?
The second,
Mhm.
gonna make them come to 2 meetings in a row?
Monday the 2nd.
Oh, Monday the second, I
Yeah.
meant the second Monday, okay.
Yeah.
Are you
so
on
that
that
would be
meeting?
an MEDC meeting.
Why don't we just move the EDC meeting to Monday the 2nd and kill the one?
Okay.
Oh,
so
it's
it's
the
Monday the second.
Yeah, let's do December 2nd.
All right, so we're gonna kill the one on the 3rd week in December, and we're going to move it to Monday the 2nd.
Sure.
Okay.
Everybody good with that?
We're not having one in November?
Yes, so that's,
That's the
That's the
workshop.
joint workshop.
Oh, okay.
So it's, yeah, we're not having an EDC meeting, but it's a joint workshop
Gotcha,
with you guys.
gotcha.
and EDC.
Because I already
Planning
have
commission.
that. Okay.
all right, well,
Okay.
that's good. And then can your guy show up for that?
That's what I'm asking.
And if that's the case, we are good.
On the
Okay,
board
so,
inquiry, I meant to bring it up when Rebecca was here. I just wanted to comment that the quilt walk looked like it was successful.
yeah, he was saying he didn't see anybody, but I thought he had a lot
And
of.
she took it over. I must say that word. I don't know that that's correct.
She did.
But I'm gonna say Rebecca took it over. And I know Friday afternoon, there was quite a few people in town.
Yeah,
Saturday, I think, was a little,
it was a little, yeah, it was sparse.
so we might want to rethink something on that equipment.
So there was
It
a lot
didn't
of swivel.
start until like 1 or something on Friday, did it?
Yeah, I know it started late,
So maybe the Friday needs to be the better day.
Yeah.
I know in the past, and we just kind of maybe need to visit with Rebecca on that, but Saturday didn't look like.
No, there was no one there.
So Carol, when the new events director comes on board?
You guys want an update on that?
Sure.
Yes, let him, yeah.
So, Stephanie Johnson, me, Mike, and, I don't think you were there.
Yep.
For Stephanie?
Yeah, it was just the very last one.
Yeah. So we interviewed several candidates. We made an offer to one, and we thought we had a great candidate, and I don't know what happened. I had her come in the next day to kind of show her around, and just have just a frank conversation with her, and she wanted backing out after that, so I don't know if I scared her off. But then we want to do another round of interviews and found Stephanie, who we all agree that we think is going to be the better fit for us. She's a little older. She spent, I think, 10 years with Lake Houston Chamber doing events. Very well spoken, very engaging. I think she'll be good for the downtown businesses. But one of the things I want her to do is, as soon as she gets here, is start engaging with you guys, start engaging with the downtown businesses. And I think Jeff and I agree that she'll be at these meetings to kind of give you guys an idea of things.
Yeah.
Kind of what you're saying, Carol, we kind of do maybe some after-action stuff on these events to see what worked, what didn't work, what didn't change.
Yeah, this year, I know, didn't turn out well, in my opinion,
The cool one.
but the quilt walk, just
Well,
what I saw of it.
So Casey hit it on the head when he said there wasn't any advertising for it. I mean, Patricia had one foot out the door, a month ago or thereabouts, and didn't really do a lot of social media.
Okay.
So this person, Stephanie, will do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either, I just, normally the quilt walk is something that we do generally get a pretty good crowd for.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised when I was going through town,
Mhm.
like, I went through 3 or 4 times middle of the day, and then I went again, like at 4:30.
Why don't we just keep brief?
There just wasn't enough traffic.
Talk with Rebecca, find out what went right, what was wrong, what was missing, what was
So
confusing.
we'll meet with, when Stephanie gets here, we'll meet with Rebecca.
And she'll be, we'll be sure to have Stephanie, she'll be at our meetings going forward, so, we'll be nice to introduce her to the EDC board as well. I might even come in and do a little video interview or something like that, just to kind of let her introduce herself to everybody. But they'll like her. I mean, she's a good candidate.
Don't scare her off.
What is she doing now, or, what is she transitioning from?
She's doing sales for a flooring company. So nothing event related, but she's kind of in between.
But she's employed.
Oh,
They take her right.
She's employed.
She's not just rolling out, she's not going.
She's excited about being here. I think this is a good fit for us.
Oh, she'll be phenomenal.
Yeah. And I think she'll be able to handle the different personalities downtown a lot better than we have.
And I wish all of our directors were here to hear this, but this guy really, really, really did a lot of work to get these people in. I mean, I know you don't get a lot of praise, Gary, but I've told you personally.
And to scare them out the door. Right?
Well, that's okay. You know what? If they can't handle the heat, they're not going to make it in this city for sure.
Yeah, that's
So
a true statement right there.
I think it was money for her. I don't think it was anything.
Yeah, it was money,
It
yeah.
was money.
But this girl you can tell she's got a sincere passion for it, but he really went the extra mile to make sure. We literally had 10 interviews like that. So it wasn't like we just picked one out of the air like the
We had a
last.
lot of applicants.
Yeah,
So that was
a lot of good applicants, a lot of people interested
What
in
did we
this.
end up paying? Did we raise, lower, same?
Same.
Same?
Yeah, so it didn't cost us anymore, but I think we're gonna find a better, I don't think, I know we're gonna find a better.
And she's strictly events.
Strictly
Just strictly events, yeah.
So anyway, but little praise to you, Gary. I'm not just going to, we praise in public,
You think people get our fall festival?
You think people what?
Do you think we'll get our fall
Yeah.
festival?
She sounds like she can do it.
Oh, yeah, she can get her fall fest, she can do the wine fest, she wants to bring it.
Yes.
She wants to bring a half marathon here.
That's what you were saying, the marathon.
Yeah, so,
Would be awesome.
and Charlie Diggs, by the way, I don't know what he was
Kind
thinking.
of flopped out there.
It was horrible.
Oh,
I sent my daughter out there to check on it, and she said, Dad, I don't want to tell you, but this is terrible.
Yeah.
And
heard it kind of
I ain't
flopped.
saying,
I heard it flopped out there.
So maybe we could get Diggs to
a
come by.
lot of people told him. You take it out of Montgomery.
Yeah.
It's just like when,
Yeah, I went to the baseball field.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have a relationship with Charlie Wade or not so much?
I do,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll talk to him.
Maybe just, ask him if he might have an interest in coming back, and I think he's gonna be begging for an opportunity to come back. We should try and encourage that.
Right.
We need to find him a place though.
He
That's the
needs a
issue.
permanent.
I know.
Does he not come back because there was, I know the ADC's bylaw, or you guys said that you only support
Well,
this for 3 years?
right, or 5
I
years.
think that's why.
It had something to do with the parking.
Okay,
Maybe,
gotcha.
you think $8,000 kept him from
No, I
having
don't know.
a fair?
I just didn't, I didn't know at all. I'm not in that.
I didn't mean that word that way.
Fair in the county.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be-
I was like taking it the other way. It sounded a lot more interesting.
It's a title of the book.
It's a mini-series of fairs around the country.
Yeah.
Why don't you have-
Housewives of Montgomery.
Yeah.
Start out on 149.
No, I don't think the money would.
No, I agree with you.
come from-
It could have been Phil not giving him the property up either, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, he was downtown that one time, and he said it just was too big.
Yeah.
He was too big.
Yeah.
And so then he moved it out to Ransom's by the restaurant. Had it there
2 years in a
2
row.
years.
It was fantastic.
It was great right there, but what's her name complained because they were using her bathroom. So they moved it over a lot. So it was too far to walk.
Yeah. But if you could, I think his complaint would be in downtown too, not only big, but it was making a lot of, he was having to deal with all the people,
Too restrictive.
all the businesses.
Right, we had a lot of
that-
businesses that were not
Vincent,
I don't think downtown's a place to have it, but somewhere where we have land like Ransom's or thereabouts, or whatever,
Right.
maybe Phil would consider.
Yeah, if you wanted to have him help support a dance downtown, with a band, that would be
Sure,
great,
yeah.
something like that, but,
Do you know the Randalls that well? I don't know the Randalls that well, but they ain't feel about it.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, that would be awesome, but
that'd be great.
they don't like it, I guess.
Flagship, basically kind of across the street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could talk to him, ask him. I'm sure he's gonna come in.
I think he's gonna be wanting to bring it back to Montgomery after, at least what I saw. And it was perfect weather.
It was.
It wasn't like it was a weather
Yeah,
situation.
the weather was nicer here than it was where I was. It was hot as hell up there,
Where were you?
South Dakota.
I'm in South
It was
Dakota.
97 degrees, and then my wife's like, oh, it's beautiful outside. I'm like,
It's a drag. All right, well, if that's all we have, guys, I'll go ahead and conclude. Can we entertain a motion
I'll
to,
make a motion to adjourn.
okay, second, okay, it's been motion second, we adjourn the meeting, Montgomery Economic Development Corporation, and, I don't know the time, it is, 6:53, okay, and, it's a minimal debatable, requires, majority vote, all those in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Okay, and all those no, and we're adjourned.
very good.